Without fear, there's no bravery, another problem.
All right, starting with the main event, Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. I am pumped for this fight. I think this is going to be a very high-level fight. I don't think it's going to be as boring as the last couple of fights of Sean Strickland's when he's promised blood and there was no blood. I do think this is going to be really high-level. I think Anthony Hernandez is on an absolute tear right now. He's been ripping through the middleweight division, 8-fight win streak, several finishes within those, has the cardio, has the grappling, can stand up, has the chin on him. He's got everything he needs to make it to the top, but unfortunately I'm afraid he's going to run into a brick wall in Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland, while he's been off for like a year, he really hasn't been off. I'm sure he has probably been in a worse fight than he will be on Saturday night. I think he's going to be able to. My hope is Hernandez pulls out the takedown defense of Sean Strickland and we get to see it, because Sean Strickland's grappling, his wrestling, and his takedown defense is very slept on because you never see it. He never uses it. But my picks for this fight. So I've got Sean Strickland, just to give you an overall pick for the decision win. I've got Sean Strickland for the decision win, but as for my prize picks, I've got 85.5 significant strikes, the over on Sean Strickland. And the reason I picked that is because, one, it feels like an absolute no-brainer. He is a high-volume striker. I think he's going to have the opportunities to stand up and put on a ton of volume. But in his last 5 fights, his significant strike count has been 128, 182, 173, 137, and 81. And I have every reason to believe that this fight is going all 5 rounds. I do not think that there's going to be a finish. I do not think Sean Strickland is going to finish Fluffy Hernandez, and if he does, it would probably be late in the 5. And I don't think Anthony Hernandez is going to finish Sean Strickland. So really excited about this fight. I think it's going to be a great matchup, a very interesting matchup. But again, like I said earlier, I think this is going to be high level. I think that Hernandez is going to be able to pull out of some of the wrestling of Sean Strickland, and I'm excited to see that. All right, moving on to the co-main event of the evening, Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. I believe that's how you say his name. Please don't fault me. If I got it wrong, just comment down below and tell me I suck. This is going to be a great fight. Medic has been kind of on a tear in the UFC as far as entertainment goes. I wouldn't say wins. He's got 3 wins in a row, I believe, all by first-round finishes. But he's just like a killed or be killed mentality. But Jeff Neal is a huge step up in the competition he's been facing. I think that this one is going to go. It has finish potential, but I think it's going to at least make it to the 3rd round. As for my pick for this fight, I took Uros over 21.5 significant strikes, as in some of his longer fights that have not been first-round finishes of him or by him. He's gotten pretty good volume and likes to strike, likes to chase for the finish. I don't think Jeff Neal's going to give him that opportunity. I think it is going to probably make it into the 3rd round, but I don't think he's going to come out and put out Jeff Neal, and I don't think Jeff Neal's going to put him out. I think it's going to be a good fight. It has the potential to be explosive, very explosive. A lot going on. I've got Uros over 21.5 significant strikes. I think that feels like a pretty safe bet. I don't think he's coming out and he's knocking Jeff Neal out in the 1st round. I think he's going to have to fight a lot smarter, as Jeff Neal is not someone who typically gets knocked out, even though in his last one he got knocked out. But he wasn't completely out cold. I think he just was dazed and confused, and he wouldn't have made it any further. But Jeff Neal is a huge step up in competition, so I think this is going to be a good one. Moving on from that, we've got the freaking boy Dan Ige versus Miliqui. I don't know how to say. Versus Costa. This one is going to be exciting. Costa has been coming up. I think he's on a 3-fight win streak. Dan Ige's kind of been back and forth in his wins and losses. I'm really excited to see him come back. He's one of my favorite fighters. He has been really fun to watch, very entertaining to watch. And Costa has been kind of climbing up the rankings in a way, trying to break his way into the top 15. I think Dan Ige is great competition for him. I think this is probably going the distance. I've got Costa on Prize Picks going the over for 2.5, which is a pretty safe bet for that. I think this is going the distance most likely, or probably going to be a late 3rd round finish. And if I'm going to pick someone, it's going to be Dan Ige by knockout. I think it's going to be a long, slow grind kind of fight. They're going to be, because Costa has to be respectful of Dan Ige's power. He's got insane punching power. You can't just like not acknowledge it. So I think Costa's going to be trying to chip away, maybe do some wrestling, trying to get him down. It's possible Dan Ige may go down 2 rounds, go into the 3rd round, knowing he needs to get a finish, and then he gets the finish. That's kind of what I'm hoping happens. And yeah, Dan Ige, you're awesome. Please come on the podcast. Moving on from that, we've got Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. Ante? I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to practice names, and that will be my shtick for this whole thing. Heavyweight bout. This is going to be a quick one. I do not think this is going to last very long. I've got Ante under like 8.25 minutes for total fight time. I think it's going to be a first-round finish by Ante. Sergey has not been fighting super well in the UFC recently. Ante just got knocked out. It was a really weird stoppage. They stopped the fight for an eye poke. He thought he got the knockout. Then they restarted the fight, and then he got knocked out. His fight before that, he got a first-round knockout. And then like 4 fights before that, all first-round knockouts. 1 fight to a decision, and then like 4 fights before that, all first-round knockouts. So the guy does not get out of the first round very often, and I do not think he is going to start on Saturday night. So I think this is going to be a first-round knockout by Ante. He's coming over from the PF. Josiah Harrell has not fought since last year, I believe. Crazy story. He weighed in, had a medical issue or something. The medical team pulled him off, ended up giving him a scan, and found out that he had like a brain disease that he had to get brain surgery on, which is nuts to then come back to the UFC. I mean, hats off to you, my guy, for making it back, but your brain has already been compromised, bro. He's stepping in, I believe, on short notice. There was someone else that was fighting. I can't remember his name. I think he got injured. So this is like 2 weeks short notice. Jacoby Smith, heavy hands, phenomenal wrestling, a DC understudy, Daniel Cormier understudy. I think this one's going to be quick. I've got Jacoby Smith. It's probably going to be a first-round finish of sorts, whether it's TKO or submission. But I don't know. I love the underdog story. We'll see what the odds are whenever they come out. Moving on from that, my boy from Texas, Shiner, Texas, Zach Reese versus Michel Pereira. This one, I believe I took Michel on Prize Picks, Michel, for over 1.5 rounds. I feel like that is achievable. I feel like that is very achievable because he's lost his last 3 fights. He was previously on an 8-fight win streak. I imagine he wants to get the win and is going to be much less of a risk taker as he usually is. This is the guy, if you do not know, who does like backflips on people in the cage. I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to fight a solid fight. I think Zachary Reese is going to be a great matchup for him. But I also think Michel's chaos could be a problem for Zachary Reese if he so chooses to go down that route. Zachary Reese is a phenomenal fighter. I would call him a safe fighter, does not take a ton of risks, does the things that work, and that's what I think make him really good. Very good on the ground, very good in the stand-up. Pretty dang good cardio. He's kind of had an interesting run the past like 4 fights. One of them was a no contest, one of them was a no contest. And I think the other one he got TKO'd, and it was a very weird, very strange way that it happened. But I'm really excited for this fight. I think it's going to be a great way to open up the card. I hope Zachary Reese comes back and makes a huge impact in the middleweight division. I would love to see a boy from Texas make it up to the top, and I think he can. So excited to see him come back and get back into the octagon. This is going to be a great fight. Not going over the prelims, unfortunately, you guys, because I just do not have the time to look over all of them.